Good evening, my dear children. Welcome back to today's online class. I am Radhika, your politics teacher. Children, we were studying Politics Chapter 21, Secular Vision of the Indian Constitution. In this chapter, we are discussing about fundamental rights. Then, there are 6 fundamental rights. That is, right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. The first of 4 rights we completed. Today's your topic is cultural and educational rights. Children, did you know India is a land of multiple languages and a diverse culture? In order to protect minorities and maintain this diversity, the Constitution provides for cultural and educational rights. In order to protect minorities and maintain this diversity, the Constitution provides cultural and educational rights. Every section of the Indian population has the right to conserve their script, language and culture. Under this right, every section of the Indian population has the right to conserve their script, language and culture. Then second, admission to any educational institution funded by the government cannot be denied on the grounds of religion, caste, region or language. Admission to any educational institution funded by the government cannot be denied on the ground of religion, caste, region or language. Every section of society has the right to establish and administer educational institutions of its choice. Clear, children? In order to protect the minorities and maintain this diversity, the constitutions provide cultural and educational rights. That means every section of the Indian population has the right to conserve their script, language and culture. Admission to any educational institutions funded by the government cannot be denied on the ground of religion, caste, region or language. Every section of society has the right to establish and administer educational institution of its choice. Okay, then last right. Right to constitutional remedies. In order to ensure that the citizens' rights are protected by the state, the Constitution has provided for the right to constitutional remedies. Clear, children? In order to ensure that the citizens' rights are protected by the state, the Constitution has provided for the right to constitutional remedies under Article 22. Clear, children? In this right, citizens are empowered to approach the Supreme Court, any of the High Courts or any other courts if he or she thinks any of his or her fundamental rights has been violated. That means we can approach any of the court. That means Supreme Court, High Court or other court. Then second, the Supreme Court and High Courts have the power to issue directives, orders or writ for the enforcement of the fundamental right. Then the Supreme Court and the High Court have a power to issue directives. Directives means official instruction. Okay, the Supreme Court and the High Court have to issue what? Official instructions, orders or writ. Writ means written commands issued by a court or other legal authority to act or abstain from performing some illegal acts. Writ means written command issued by a court. Written commands issued by a court is called writ. The Supreme Court and the High Court have the power to issue directives, that means official instruction, orders and written comments issued by the court for the enforcement of the fundamental right. This is the last right, right to constitutional remedies. In order to ensure that the citizens' rights are respected by the state, the Constitution has provided for the right to constitutional remedies under Article 32. Then, fundamental rights as human rights. The fundamental rights draw from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The fundamental rights taken from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights adopted by the United Nations. These rights can be enjoyed by every citizen of India. Then what is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? It is the declaration adopted by United Nations General Assembly on 10th December 1948 at Palais de Chaillot, that is in Paris. Clear? The fundamental rights draw from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a declaration adopted by the United Nations General Assembly on 10th December 1948 at Palais de Chaillot in Paris. Clear? Then, next, fundamental duties. The fundamental duties are a novel feature of the Indian Constitution. Originally, the Constitution of India did not contain the fundamental duties. However, it was felt that the relationship between the people and the state is reciprocal. If people enjoy certain rights, they must also fulfill duties toward the states. The Constitution 42nd Amendment Act, that is 1976, introduced 10 fundamental rights, or a fundamental, not a right, fundamental duties. According to 1976 Amendment Act, the Constitutions provide 10 fundamental duties. But in 2002, again we amended that fundamental duties, then we added one more duty. That means at the present we have 11 duties, and about these duties enshrined in Article 51A. First we have 10 duties, then after we added one more in 2002. That's why we have 11 duties. Okay. And these duties are enshrined in the Constitution of India in the Article 51A. Then, listen, that 11 fundamental duties. Okay, you can study any 5 duties from these 11 duties. Okay, children. First one, to abide by the Constitution and respect the national flag and a national anthem. That means we abide. Abide means accept. We should accept the Constitution and respect the national flag and national anthem. Then second, to cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom. Then third, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. Then next, to defend the country and render national services when called upon to do so. Then next, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all people of India. To promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood among all people of India. Then next, the value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. Next, To protect and improve the natural environment including forest, lakes, rivers and wildlife. To develop the scientific temper, humanism and the spirit of inquiry and reform. To safeguard public property and to abjure violence. To strive toward excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity so that the nation constantly rises to higher level of endeavor and achievement. To provide opportunities for education by the parent or the guardian to his or her child or ward between the age of 6 and 14. That means send their children to school between the ages 6 to 14. These are our fundamental duties. And these fundamental duties are enshrined in Article 51A. In 1976, we have 10 duties. Then in 2002, we made one amendment. Like that, now we have 11 duties. Clear, children? Okay. Thank you.